Do y'all like casseroles as much as I do? Well, you've come to the right place. I'm getting ready to show you 5 quick, simple, and easy weeknight casseroles. Let's get cooking, y'all. Come on, let's go. All right, y'all, so supper this evening is gonna be $1 million ravioli bake. So we're going to need some spaghetti sauce. You can either make your own or do what I did and pull some out of your deep freezer. That's why usually when I make spaghetti sauce, I make a lot. So I already have some ready to go. And then I have some frozen little cheese raviolis. And then you'll need some mozzarella, some cottage cheese, a block of cream cheese, and some cheddar cheese, as well as some garlic. And then, of course, whatever spices you want, but I'll probably use the Badia Complete and Cavender's. Y'all know my drill and what seasonings I use. But anyways, let's get to cooking and getting this in the oven. So I added the softened cream cheese to the bowl. I'm going to add in some garlic, and then we're going to go in with our cottage cheese. We're going to go ahead and put our mozzarella in there. I just have the finely shredded. We'll give that a good mix together just to make sure everything is incorporated. Then we will spray our baking dish, and then we'll add a little bit of sauce to the bottom of it because you don't want that ravioli to stick. Then we'll make a nice layer of the ravioli on there. And once we have that first layer, all the other layers are going to be the same. So I just kind of sped that up a little bit. And then we will top it with some more sauce, of course. Then once we have that sauce spread around as best as you can, you'll come in with that cheese mixture. And you want to make sure you get it a nice like coating. And then you'll spread that out as well. Then you'll, like I said, you'll just repeat those same steps until you get to the top of your casserole dish. And once you have your casserole dish filled, you'll just top it with whatever cheeses you want to. I kind of look through my cheese drawer if I don't have some in particular. But I had the rest of that mozzarella, and then I had some shredded cheddar that I wanted to go ahead and finish that off with. So that's what I did. Then I baked it at 350 for anywhere for 30 to 45 minutes. It really just depends on your oven. And I did top it with some Italian seasoning. But y'all, this was so yummy. You don't even have to boil those noodles before you put them in there, the ravioli, because they'll cook all the way through. Now, I just paired that with some homemade garlic Texas toast, and that was supper this night. All right, y'all, so supper tonight is going to be a beefy rice-a-roni casserole. I just have a pound of ground beef. It calls for the beef rice-a-roni, but I don't have that. I just got this creamy 4 cheese rice-a-roni, and that's what we're going to use. And then you'll need a can of cream of chicken soup of what it calls for, but I didn't think that would go very well. So I'm using cream of mushroom with roasted garlic. You'll need about a cup of cheese. And then it calls for French fried onions on top. I am out of that, and we are going to use what I have. So we're going to take these 2 little packs of Ritz crackers. We're going to crumble them up with a little bit of butter and some seasoning in it, and that's what's going to be our topping. So we're going to go ahead and get this started, and I think it's going to be absolutely delicious. All right, so starting out, we're just going to go ahead and prepare this rice-a-roni just according to the box directions right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. And then we'll brown up the ground beef, and we'll mix everything together. All right, so while that rice is cooking, we're going to go ahead and brown up our hamburger. And the only thing I'm going to put in it today is just some Badia Complete. We're going to give that a good dose of that. And we're going to go ahead and brown this up. And then we'll be ready to mix everything together and get it in the baking dish. All right, so we have the cheese and everything mixed up. It says to get a mixing bowl and mix all the stuff together, but I don't see a point in that when we've got a perfectly big enough skillet right here. So I'm just gonna dump in that can of soup, and then we will throw in the skillet over there with the beef in it. Now I did drain that as best as I could. That pan was loud. Sorry, y'all. We're just going to give this a good old mixy, and then we're going to get it in our baking dish, top it with the cheese and the crackers, and then we're going to let it bake for about 20 to 25 minutes until everything is nice and golden brown and bubbly. So to a spray casserole dish, you'll just dump that beef and rice mixture on in there. You'll get that smoothed out. Then we will top it with whatever cheeses you want. I just had like a Colby Jack blend. So I put that on top, then top it with some crackers that I crushed up with some butter and some seasoning. You can use whatever topping you want to. Pop that into a 350-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on your time. Don't forget about it and burn the top like I did. But nevertheless, it was absolutely delicious, and it was belly filling, rib sticking good. All right, y'all, so supper tonight is going to be a spinach and mushroom manicotti. So I have some fresh spinach here. I've got some mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, ricotta, cottage cheese, and some marinara sauce for the top. And I do have some mushrooms right here, and of course our manicotti shells. So first things first is I'm going to go ahead and get these boiling. I'm going to parboil them a little bit. I don't want them to rip or anything, but I like them to be like al dente before I put them into the oven. And then we're going to get our filling put together with the rest of this. Of course, chop up the mushrooms. All right, y'all, so we're going to come in with probably maybe a cup to a cup and a half of cottage cheese. And then we're going to do probably about a cup, let's just say about the same of the ricotta. So we add our Parmesan. Next, we're going to add some mozzarella. Then we're going to give that a mix. And then we're going to put some seasonings in it and just see how the mixture looks before we add in the spinach and mushrooms. All right, y'all, so to our cheeses, we're going to go ahead and add in some garlic because y'all know we love it over here. The more the better, in my opinion. Give that a good mix. Then we're going to come in with our Badia Complete. Mix that well. Add in your chopped up spinach or mushrooms, whatever fillings y'all want. Y'all can make it. You can even add in meat. Sometimes I do. Tonight, I just decided to make it a veggie one. So it was absolutely delicious, though. So the easiest way I found is just to put that mixture into a Ziploc baggie and then snip that corner off. That way you can put it in both ends of the manicotti shells, and then you just squeeze it until the shell is full. Then, it's quick, simple, and it's mess-free, because I know sometimes manicotti, that's a challenge, is trying to fill those shells. So if anybody wants to make you manicotti, just know it's a labor of love, 100%. But like I said, it's delicious either way it goes. And y'all can see that some of my shells did split, but that's going to happen. So the rest of that filling, I just decided to go ahead and put on top of it and then just kind of spread it out. Then we'll top it with our marinara sauce. You can even make your own if you want to. I'm just using a jarred marinara sauce because it's just good for this evening. So once you have that sauce on there, I'm just gonna, guess what, cover it in cheese. Goes into a 350-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. You just want it nice and golden brown and bubbly and heat it all the way through. Y'all, this is absolutely delicious. It's a must try. Okay, so for supper tonight, we're going to do a cheesy egg noodle bake. And you'll need, of course, some egg noodles. I just have the small ones here. And then seasoning-wise, I'm going to use Badia Complete, the Cavender's Greek seasoning, salt, and pepper. Some whipped cream cheese, but it does call for a block of cream cheese or a half a block. But we're just going to use this. And it calls for ricotta, which I don't have, but I have the small curd cottage cheese, so we're going to use it. Some Parmesan cheese, some shredded Colby Jack, so I'll shred that here in a little bit. Of course, a pound of ground beef, and some onion. I just have a half of a large onion here, which that'll be plenty because it calls for just one. I think it's either a small or a medium, so that'll be perfect. So anywho, we're going to go ahead and get everything ready, and then I'll bring you back and show you how we make it. And I also forgot to mention you'll need a jar of marinara sauce, whatever kind you want. So anyways, now let's get to making. All right, y'all, so in our skillet, we've got some ground beef there. I'm going to put some Badia Complete, Cavender's salt, and pepper. We'll go ahead and brown that on up until it's cooked all the way through. Oh, yep, add in some onion, forgot that. Now we're going to cook it until it's all the way cooked through. Once it is, we'll add in our jar of marinara sauce. Y'all, this was so good. I definitely will have his video linked down below. But to make the cheese mixture, we're going to start out with some cottage cheese. And then we're going to add in sour cream as well. Then we will add in our tub of whipped cream cheese. You can use the block cream cheese if that's all you had, but I just wanted to use this up. So you'll mix that well just to make sure everything is combined. Once it is, that's when we will add in our Parmesan cheese, stir it once more, and y'all will see here in a second that in true Sammy fashion, I needed a bigger bowl. So I'm transferring it right here. That way I can mix the egg noodles into it like the recipe called for. But once those are all blended and it mixed well together, because you want that, you know, all over your noodles, we'll go ahead and swap it out for our sprayed casserole dish. We'll put about half of that mixture into the bottom, and then we will come in with our meat sauce that we've made, and then we will add in the other half of the creamy cheesy egg noodle mixture. We'll top it with the rest of the sauce, cover it in cheese. Nonetheless, y'all know you gotta have some more cheese. And then it goes into a 350-degree oven until everything is nice and warm through, which it don't take very long, but you do want it nice and heated up and bubbly and brown and all that deliciousness, just like this right here. Y'all know. Oh my gosh, y'all. This is definitely a must make because it hit the spot. All right, y'all, so supper tonight is Tater Tot Casserole. So, of course, you just need some tater tots. We use the crispy crowns if we can find them. Then you'll need some mozzarella cheese for the top. Typically, I use Monterey Jack, but I couldn't find it. So, I got mozzarella, some cream of mushroom soup. I have 2 pounds of 93.7, the lean ground beef here. So, I'm going to use 2 cans of cream of mushroom. And then I have a half an onion that I need to chop up and add because I just cooked the onion with the beef. And then, of course, our seasonings, which will be Badia Complete, black garlic, and either Cavender's or Nature Seasoning. But this is what we're having for supper tonight, and I'm telling y'all, it is definitely a winner. You'll want to make it all the time. Alright, so once that is browned up, all we do is add in both cans of that soup. And then we'll mix this up, and then we'll start assembling the casserole, because once you have this mixed up, that's pretty much all you have to do to it. And then we'll start making the casserole. All right, so to the bottom of a sprayed casserole dish, we're just going to lay our tater tots out. I like the crispy crowns just because they lay flat and you don't have to struggle with them as much. But once you have that first layer, I just like to season it with a little bit of Nature Seasoning or salt and pepper, whatever you want. You'll dump that creamy mushroom beef mixture on top of it, spread that out. You'll come in with your last layer of the crispy crown tater tots, and just make sure that, you know, it's a single layer. That way everything gets nice and crispy. Once that top layer's on though, we're going to cover it in cheese. Now y'all think it might not get crispy, but it will. It makes the perfect casserole. I definitely recommend y'all try this. But once you've got the cheese in there, you'll put it in the 350-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on your oven. But y'all definitely have to try this one. I have been making it for years, and it is absolutely delicious. All right, y'all, that is it for this week's video. I truly hope y'all enjoyed it and it gave you some meal inspiration to cook something for your family. If you are in need of prayer, please let me know below. I would be honored to be able to pray for you all. And until next time, I wish you all nothing but the very best. God bless. Bye.